Hello, everyone. Um, I am Fyruz Khan, and today I'm back with a brand new class. So, if you haven't liked our page on Facebook, just type in Fyruz Education Services and like our page because we have plenty of videos for ONO A levels. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel. Again, just type in Fyruz Education Services, and we have plenty of videos for you. The good thing about YouTube is it's synchronized on a playlist. It's easier to find. It's there just like a list, so it's very convenient. So subscribe to our channel now. Let's wait for some students to join, and we shall start this lesson as soon as possible. It's just a small lesson. We're going to finish this chapter and move on to the new chapter tomorrow. So, yeah, so think about, let's say you want to renovate your house or make a new house. When you make a new house, it can consist of, or it can compose of many small and big activities together. Just like this, you may have 8 or 9 activities if you want to build a house, right? So, yeah, there we go. Some activities are very important. Some activities are not so important. There are some activities which must be completed in order to go forward. So here, if you look at this diagram, there are 8 activities, and it's labeled A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, and then alternatively you also have 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's say we want to build a new house and we have 8 activities or till J, right? So this arrow shows, indicates each activity. It shows that each activity is taking place. Okay. um, an activity takes up time and resources. Now, if you want to, let's say, break a house, or if you want to install windows, or if you want to install tiles, that would require you to buy the raw materials in the first place, right? Buy the raw materials. You need labor. You also need to pay them, and you also require a sufficient amount of time to put those tiles on floor. So an activity may take up, or definitely will take up, time and resources. And this circle, it's a node. This indicates the end of each activity. So we have the circle that means this activity, which is A or number 2, has been completed, has been finished. Okay, so there we go. So you can draw this kind of activity, this kind of network diagram, if you're doing a project or if you're involved in such project. Okay, this will help you in many ways. Arza, hello. We are revising a little bit, and then we'll go forward. And then keep in mind, we have this is the number. Don't confuse with the number. This is number of each activity: 1, 2, 3, 4. Alternatively, you also have A. This is A, B, C. And this one out here, this is an EST. EST means early start time. That means you need to start this activity, let's say breaking the wall, on day 8. Okay, on day 8, you must start this activity, in order not to delay the project. So that's early start time. Very, very important. Okay. And then you have LFT. LFT is latest finish time. So this activity needs to be finished on day 22nd in order not to delay the whole project or not to delay the next activity. Okay, so if you're breaking walls, you need to finish it in 4 days or 5 days in order for the next activity to take place, or you don't want to delay breaking the walls because that will delay the overall project. The overall project will be finished in 42 days. There you go. If you don't finish this activity on time, this won't be finished in 42 days. Probably it may take I don't know, more 3 or 4 days extra. Okay. If you don't finish this activity on day 8, you can't start this activity. So it's not only about the whole project, it's also about the next activity. After breaking the walls, let's say we need to make new walls. So if you don't finish breaking the walls on time, you won't be able to make new walls and you won't be able to finish the project on time. Okay? So you have total float time. Total float time means the entire time, the total time required for the whole project itself. Okay? Let's say, because it happens in a project, let's say your window pods did not come on time. Let's say this activity E is about installing windows and your suppliers are late because of pandemic. It didn't come on time. So you want to check, okay, how much time you can take extra in order not to delay the whole project. The formula is here, very easy. You take LFT, latest finish time, you take duration, and you take EST. For example, if you want to find out the total float time of D, that okay, for how many days can we delay the project without affecting the whole project? So you have to take LFT. LFT is 32. For D, it's 32. EST, duration is 6, and EST is 20. So you do 32 minus 6 minus 20. It's going to be 6 days. That's how you find total float time. Then, if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to write down on the comment section. Then you can also find out free float. Free float it's the same as total float, but free float is, okay, how much can I delay in order not to affect the next activity? Okay, how much can I delay this in order for this activity not to delay? The formula is given: EST, next activity, minus duration, minus EST, current activity, right? So this is basically your network diagram or critical path analysis. Because in critical path analysis, there will be so many things to do, so many small or big jobs. We have 8 or 9 activities right here. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 activities. Critical path means something that is very important for the project to finish. Let's say installing windows or breaking the walls. These are the 2 tasks that are so important to be finished on time, for the whole project to be finished on time. Okay, so you can find out total float time, free float time, what's the earliest start time for each project, when should you start a project, that activity, when should you finish that activity for the next activity to take place, or for the whole project to be finished on time. So this is why this is so important, a network diagram. Okay, this came in 2019. So yeah, there you go. Now let's talk about, okay, why do we want to create a network diagram, or why do we want to do critical path analysis? There we go, critical path analysis, the advantages. The first advantage is that here, as you can see, you can calculate the total time of the project. Okay, how many days it's going to take. You can see it's going to take 42 days. For each task, there's a time mentioned: early start time, latest finish time, right? So it tells you about the project duration of each activity. So you're not going to make any mistake. It's very well thought out. The plan is very well etched out, and it'll give you accurate delivery dates. Before the project start, you have an overview: how many days it's going to take to finish the project, how many days will it take to finish each activity, how many days you need for each activity to start. So all these things. The second advantage is, let's say for some activity, you need to order materials, special materials. Okay, so you can calculate those. Okay, this activity is going to start on the 22nd day, so I need to order my windows and bulbs or lights or wiring before the 22nd day. Okay, so that all resources are there with you when you want to start that activity, because you don't want to start an activity and see, oh, I don't have this, I don't have that. So you can literally manage your resources, you can place the order, and so forth. Okay, that's the second advantage. The first advantage is that you can calculate the total duration time, calculate the duration of each activity, and you can order your resources on time. Okay, depending on the duration. You can also calculate, as I said before, you can calculate latest finish time. You can see, okay, how many days will I take to finish this activity or that activity or the whole project. Okay, by how many days you need to finish them. So that's there. You can calculate EST, early start time. Okay, by how many days do we need to calculate this to finish the second activity or the next activity, right? So it helps you to calculate LFT and EST. We've already talked about that. Okay. Um, and LFT is a very important control tool that tells you, okay, you need to finish this on time so that you can start the next activity, or you can finish the project on time so that you know the project is on schedule. Because see, guys, when you're building a house, or when you're building a 12-storied apartment, it's a very big project. And in big projects, delays are common. You will see in Bangladesh this developers, those who make apartments, most of the time, 70-80% of the time, they're not able to match the delivery dates. They're not able to match deadlines. And that happens. It's very common. And that's why you want to plan out well. Okay. Next up, critical activities may take up additional resources, like, building walls or breaking walls or installing windows. Activities that are quite big or complex, those are called critical activities, which are very important to establish for the whole project to be finished on time, right? So, um, for those things, you may need additional resources, additional machineries. So it helps you with that also. Okay. And knowing the critical path is quite important, because you don't want to delay the project. Okay. Let's say, okay, installing Windows is my critical path. So you are concentrating on installing Windows, because it's a big job, it's an expensive job, it takes a lot of time, right? Because for that, the whole project can be delayed. Okay. Um, last up, you have the last two advantages. If you look at the network diagram, it is a sequence of activities. It happens in sequential order. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, A, B, C, D. You need to, let's say, break the walls first, and then make the walls, do the electrical wiring, install the windows, do furnitures, cabinets, and so on. So it tells you which one comes first, which one comes second, which should be done earlier, which should be done later, because you can't paint first and then start breaking the walls. No, that's going backwards. When you do a project, especially like, building a house or renovating a house, it needs to be done in a sequential order, in a logical order. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? So it tells you which one to do first and which to do later. Okay. Um, and then it also forces the manager to plan each project carefully, to plan each activity carefully. Okay, we will take 10 days to break this. For breaking the walls, our budget is, let's say, 1 lakh taka. We need to complete this activity by the 10th day, and we need to start the next activity on the 11th day. So it forces managers to think ahead, to predict problems ahead, to assume things ahead. And that's always good. As a business manager or as a business leader, you always want to be 3 or 4 or 5 steps ahead. So that's good in a way. So these are the advantages. Okay, these are the advantages. We have the last advantages. Nowadays, everything is done quickly. A factory, Tesla can build a gigabyte factory, which is thousands of square foot, I don't know, in 6 months or 7 months or in a year. So nowadays, all these projects can be established, can happen within a very, very short period of time. In the olden days, if you went back 20 years back, if you went 30 years back, um, in order to build a house, it would take, let's say, 5 years, 6 years, 7 years. Nowadays, it can be done in 2 years, in 3 years. So I've seen independent houses being built in 6 months. Okay. So because of rapid development, because nowadays everyone wants everything to be established very quickly, these kind of network diagram will assist you to achieve that. Okay, because everything is planned out very carefully. Each activity has a deadline, each activity has an early start time, latest finish time, what resources you need, budgets. You can work out the budgets. How many people would you need? You can analyze the critical path, you can analyze difficult jobs, you can order your supplies, you can order your resources, additional resources. So it's like a detailed diagram. And you need this kind of detailed approach when you want to complete something on time, when you want to be on schedule. Okay? So that's quite important, very, very important. So these are the advantages. First advantages is it helps you to calculate the total duration of the project or duration of each activity. Second up is it helps the manager to order resources beforehand. Third is it helps you to calculate LFT. It helps you calculate, order additional resources of critical activities. Number five, it helps you to know the critical path, which jobs are important for you to complete the whole project. Um, it helps you to see it is a sequence of activities, so you can arrange which comes first, which comes later. It forces the manager to plan ahead, to think ahead. And if you want to complete a job, let's say in a very short time, this kind of detailed, etched out plan is required. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to comment down on the comment section. We will get back to you as soon as possible. The class is going fantastic. Let's go ahead. So, CPA or critical path analysis or network analysis is quite important, but however, you need to keep in mind that it does not guarantee success. Now, planning ahead does not guarantee success. Still, your project can fail. There may be problems with quality. There may be problems with the management because you've done a plan, but it depends on the management, how they implement it. What are the skills involved? Do they have knowledge? Do they have enough of experience? Okay, so that is critical path analysis. So even if you've done a very good analysis, it does not guarantee success. Sorry for the background noise. Somebody is, I don't know, drilling holes in the wall. So, yeah. So, even if you've done a very good network diagram, it does not guarantee success. A plan is only as good as the management. So think about that. It depends on the people who will carry out the plan, who will implement the plan on the ground level, right? Then I also want you to think that when you do this kind of plan, staff will be motivated because you will involve them, you will involve the staff, and you will consult them. So it will increase the motivation level. The staff will feel, oh, the management is consulting us, the management is involving us in the plan, and therefore they will feel motivated. It will increase motivation level. So planning is good. And then when you use CPA, critical path analysis, these are all based on guesswork, my friends. You don't have a fixed number. Let's say you want to finish this activity on the 22nd day. It's a guesswork. So guesswork should be done by experienced people, people who's worked in these kind of project and who can actually has that field experience. So it involves a lot of guesswork. Okay, so you want to think about it. So when you involve people in this kind of project, you want to have people who has previous experiences, who are skilled. Okay, so I want you to think about that. Okay, so to end critical path analysis, it does not guarantee success. A plan is only as good as the management, because it depends on the management to implement the plan on the ground level. So yeah, CPA will increase motivation because it will involve everyone. You will consult with everyone. CPA involves a lot of guesswork, so you want to have experienced members on board. You want to have skilled labor, skilled people on board, right? So, yeah, today we have finished project management. Very important chapter. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to comment down on the comment section, right? Subscribe to our page, Facebook page. Type in Fyruz Education Services. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Again, just type in Fyruz Education Services. Thank you very much. And if you have any questions, we'll take it. I will see you in the next class. Thank you.